and applying the principles that Mendel had learned. One of those principles is going to be the principle of dominant and recessive. So some traits are going to be dominant, that is, they're always going to show up. Other traits are going to be recessive. That means that so long as there's a dominant allele present, that trait won't show up. Now, sometimes the dominant trait means that there is no phenotype. So, for example, a dominant trait might be something like no wings, might be dominant, as opposed to wings might be dominant. So you have to understand sometimes what those are. So experiment with those traits, wings and forelimbs and hind limbs. Keep track of them. Like take careful notes and keep track of what's dominant and what's recessive, because that's going to be significant. Also, you'll notice on a picture like this one, the chromosome for male and female. So females are XX, males are XY. So in this case, you have an XY, and you want to pay close attention to what the dragon looks like. Some features are a little bit different for males than they are for females. So as long as they have that feature, you can tell right away that's a male. Think of it like antlers in a deer. Like you can tell if the deer has antlers, it's a buck as opposed to a doe. So consider that. The other thing you're going to run across in this particular level are incomplete dominant traits. Incomplete dominance means we're blending these traits together. So we don't just have one or the other, we have a blend of them. So it's not just like, do you have a red, do you have a white? You also have a blend, a pink. So for example, hair in humans, you have a straight phenotype, you have a curly phenotype. But when you have one allele from each, you're going to get a wavy phenotype. So that Punnett square looks something like this. Now you'll notice they're using a C1, C2 convention. Others might just use like S for straight, C for curly. And if you get a CS combination, it's going to be wavy. Similarly, you might use an R for red and a W for white. And if you get an RW, that makes pink. Either way, it's a way that you can keep track of what genotypes are being passed along, and then what those features are going to look like. Because don't forget, the genotype determines the phenotype. The genetics determine the physical appearance. So again, just some tricks and tips. Don't forget to go back, redo some sections, get better scores that way. Use that trait chart to help keep track of how you're doing. Make sure you're recording what's working, what does not. Keep trying, but you can keep going back if you fail. So a lot of times I would just experiment with my first couple rounds. If you're experimenting, it's science, so it's tricky. Don't give up. And then don't forget to keep applying the principles that you're learning about. And as you do, you're going to be a Geniverse champ. Good luck.